Let's see how we can process mid-side in a DAW now. I will show you two ways. One that can be done in any DAW and one that is using a Logic Pro stock plugin. So here are our recordings. The purple one is the mid mic, so the mic in a cardioid polar pattern that is facing the sound source. And the side mic is a dark greenish color. That is the mic in a bidirectional polar pattern, also known as figure of 8, that is facing, as the name suggests, the sides of the room. On a first glance, they look identical, but they are not. You can both see and hear the difference. So if we zoom in quite a lot, let me do that. Let's go here, for example. Now you will see that the sound hits the side mic a tiny bit later than the mid mic. And if we actually listen to them, you will see that the mid mic is drier, while the side mic picks up more of the room ambience. So let's actually have a listen. Let me put on the same volume. There you go. So that has a bit more ambience, so let's listen to both together. Not very stereo yet, so the way we are going to look at now can be done in any DAW. It's the same process no matter what software you are using. So what we are going to do is duplicate the sides channel. And then what we're going to do is reverse the phase on the duplicate. So I'm going to use a plugin for that as it's faster. In Logic, the gain plugin has a phase invert function. So there it is. So I'm simply going to invert the phase. Let's mute that one. And if I play back, nothing's happening because they are cancelling each other out. Now, pan one hard left and the other one hard right. And let's have a listen. So they obviously play back panned. And that is actually it. All we need to do now is blend them in with a mid mic and we got a stereo recording. So I'm going to select both, take them all the way down and then just blend them in with a mid mic. And that's it. Now you might be wondering, how much do you blend them in? It's personal preference. The more you add to the mid channel, the more pronounced the stereo effect will be. So for this example, you don't want to go too far, so that's too much. So about there, that's where I like it. And obviously, since we have a mono mic facing at the sound source, when we are collapsing everything to mono, there will be no phase issues. So this technique translates to mono perfectly. Actually, let me demonstrate that. Let's actually use the gain plugin on the master because it has this mono button here. That's perfect mono, no phase issues. Now let's look at the other example. Now there are a few plugins that will allow you to do all of that, all of what we have seen without any processing from your part. In Logic, we have a stock plugin that can do mid-side processing and it's the direction mixer. So when I record something to, let's go down here. So when I record something in stereo, I usually record that to a stereo track like this one here, not to mono tracks as we had in the previous example. In this example, we had the mid-side technique recorded in a stereo track. So the left channel is the top waveform that you see, and that is our mid mic. And the lower waveform is the bidirectional mic which captures the sides. Now let's use the plugin for that. It's the direction mixer. If you can't find it here, it's under imaging and then direction mixer. And what you need to do is set it to MS, which stands for mid-side. And then, like the previous example, we will blend in the amount of sides that we want. Obviously, in the spread all the way down to 0, it will be mono. Let's actually play it back. And like before, just blend it in. Yeah, it's still mono. Oh, I forgot to switch that one off. If you go all the way to 2, then the stereo spread will be too much. It feels like there's a hole in the middle. So for me, right about there is where I like it. And lastly, the direction knob will allow you to set the pan for the stereo signal. Now sometimes you might be a bit heavier on one side and you might need to adjust it. And you can do that using this knob. And that's the processing for mid-side. Don't let the extra processing scare you. As you can see, it's easy and it's a technique worth trying.